What's up guys, Piper33 here. Welcome to another Destiny video. The Iron Banner. This week comes with the Rift game type. So how is it? It sucks. Nah, I'm just kidding. In all seriousness though, Rift in combination with the Iron Banner has some really big issues, and I wanted to touch on a few that I've seen personally. Number 1. Playing the objective. There are so many times in these games where there's either A, a spark runner who doesn't quite know what they're doing, or B, they do know what they're doing, but the rest of the team doesn't, or C, an entire team who don't know what they're doing and completely ignore actually picking up the spark and running it. Seriously, play the objective, people. Number 2. Breaking up your fire team for better matchmaking. So here's the scenario. You've finally gotten into a game where you work really well with the other members of your fire team. So much that you've been able to steamroll your competition, and we'll get to that in a second. And now you're back in the queue, waiting to get paired up with people who aren't doing number 1.
Number 1.
In case you forgot what number 1 is, it's play the objective. Number 3. Getting into a game that is in progress. Here you're getting into a match in progress, and guess what? The team you're getting on is getting steamrolled, and just for fun, the other team is backing the steamroller up over the lifeless bodies of your team just because they can. You can't even sit down before the mercy rule kicks in, and you're off to another match of another game in progress, or a fire team who can't play the objective. Number 4. Feeling helpless. So you started a match and fight over the spark, and the other team destroys your team. You continue to fire into oncoming guardians on the other team, but despite your best efforts, the other team continues to get the spark and are dunking it in your team's face. Before you know it, your team is down a 3,000 to 5,000 point deficit, and it's climbing fast because, for some reason, your team is now in such disarray that there's no coming back. You do your best and come out of the game with 20 to 30 kills, with a spark carry or 2, and the rest of your team is sitting with both a negative KD and no carries. Wanted that reputation? Too bad. But here's a medallion as a consolation, which brings me to number 5. 5 medallions and quitters. You've had a bunch of matches where your team just can't get it together, but you continue to get into matches in an attempt to finally get that win and net some reputation. But your next match runs just the same as the one before, and you're starting to feel a little bit helpless. That's when you see that your team suddenly has less people. At this point, there's no incentive to continue to stay in a match after you're in that downward spiral described in number 4, and you've already got 5 medallions. Your team is extremely likely to lose, and the loot coming from the Iron Banner isn't really worth watching it happen for another 3 to 5 minutes before the game decides that enough is enough, and the mercy rule finally kicks in. So people are quitting the match in order to get into a new one with a better chance at winning. Now I get it. Why stick around? There's no incentive to be there. Well, if you're one of the others who don't have 5 medallions, then you have a few options. You can keep fighting for no good reason because in Rift, numbers are basically everything, unless you're some crucible god and can destroy 3 to 5 guardians rushing you at once with ease. You can just sit down and take it in the pooper while the other team wins as quickly as possible, or you can quit like the others, skip your medallion, and attempt to get into a new game. Now basically, from my personal experience with Iron Banner Rift, and from what I've been reading in the community, there's not a ton of people who are liking things this time around. Even with a move away from skill-based matchmaking, these 5 issues are still horrendously rampant, and it's taking away the one thing the game should fundamentally be: fun. Now again, this is just me and my observations on top of what the community is experiencing, if what I'm reading on Reddit and the Bungie forums is correct. Now I'm sure that there are those who have a regular fire team and they're doing much better and are seeing these issues significantly less. But again, this is from what I'm seeing as a solo player. Let me know what you guys think of Iron Banner Rift. Are you getting into the same issues, or are you one of the minority who is seeing a lot of wins and ranking up with no issues at all? Let me know down there in the comments. Thank you guys very much for watching. Feel free to thumbs up the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't. Make sure you always pay the piper, and we'll see you in the next one. Whoa! I was not expecting Luke Skywalker to come out. How's your mom? Really what you should be asking is, how's your aunt and uncle? Ooh, sick burn. Twice. How's the hand? Fist bump? Alright, some TIE fighters. Here's how we go. Oh!